What if I told you that some beloved Hollywood stars harbored racist attitudes? Here is a list of 15 celebrities who, despite their captivating performances on screen, exhibited deeply racist behaviors off-screen, starting with Walter Brennan. Known for his era-defining presence in the golden age of Hollywood, Brennan has largely been forgotten in modern cinematic discussion. Once a widely recognized figure, he now merely garners a mention in the extensive history of cinema, despite winning 3 Academy Awards. His undeniable impact on the film industry was acknowledged by both his peers and cinematic audiences alike. Brennan's acting in movies like The Westerner and Sergeant York continues to resonate with classic film aficionados. His work alongside John Wayne, particularly in Rio Bravo, showcased his ability to authentically portray endearing, rugged characters, making him a standout actor. His real-life personality reflected the amiable characters he portrayed on film. Beyond his acting, Brennan was noted for his robust political beliefs, being a fervent anti-communist, a sentiment not rare in Hollywood at that time. Additionally, his political inclinations included a controversial affiliation with the John Birch Society, a group known for its radical views. James Stewart's film career spanned more than 4 decades, during which he became the epitome of the American everyman, recognized for his distinctive voice and the relatable characters he played. His Hollywood journey began in the 1930s, and by the outbreak of World War II, he had become a familiar name in American households. A notable aspect of Stewart's biography was his military service during the war, which paused his acting career but later enhanced his on-screen image as a genuine hero. Following in his father's footsteps, who served in World War I, James too answered his country's call to service. His career post-war featured some of his most celebrated roles in films that have since become timeless classics. His portrayals of Jefferson Smith in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life captured the essence of American perseverance and honesty, further cementing his status as Hollywood's quintessential nice guy, embodying the nation's highest values. Yet, Stewart's career was not devoid of controversy. Despite his wholesome screen image, instances of racism and xenophobia were reported, tarnishing his reputation. During the filming of The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, he was accused of racist behavior by his co-star Woody Strode, an allegation that astounded many of his admirers. The question of whether James Stewart's personal attitudes were shaped by his upbringing or were reflective of the times is complicated. He was raised in a predominantly white town in Indiana, having limited early exposure to diverse cultures, which might have influenced his perspectives, a view not much expanded during his time at Princeton University. Despite these accusations, many who knew him personally vouched for his kindness and professionalism. It is conceivable that James Stewart, like many of his era, was a product of his environment, harboring views that were then commonplace but are now deemed unacceptable. Stewart's controversial views extended to a mistrust of Jews, suggesting a broader xenophobia, which fostered a close relationship with FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, as they shared conservative ideologies. Stewart became an informant for Hoover in Hollywood's communist hunt, a role that strained and eventually severed friendships, like that with Henry Fonda, revealing the personal cost of his actions. John Wayne is often celebrated for his definitive portrayals of the American cowboy and soldier, his on-screen persona embodying the rugged individualist and staunch patriot that many admired. Yet his legacy is complex, especially when scrutinized with contemporary perspectives. In a 1971 interview with Playboy magazine, Wayne made statements that have since overshadowed his legacy, openly expressing views on race and society that are now considered racist and homophobic. He advocated white supremacy and made derogatory comments about African Americans, arguing they were not yet competent enough to assume positions of authority. Wayne's opinions on race were just one aspect of his character that has drawn criticism. Off-screen, his demeanor often conflicted with the heroic figures he played. Unlike his contemporary James Stewart, whose affable nature helped fans reconcile the man with the roles he played, Wayne's personality was more intricate and occasionally contentious. The repercussions of Wayne's Playboy interview have persisted. In recent years, there have been movements to reassess how historical figures, whose actions or beliefs contradict present-day values are honored. At the University of Southern California, where Wayne was an alumnus, an exhibit dedicated to him was removed following student protests, a direct response to his expressed views in the interview. Efforts to rename John Wayne Airport in Orange County have been proposed, though not yet realized. The ongoing debate over Wayne's legacy reflects a larger dialogue about how we recognize and commemorate historical figures, raising significant questions about the values we embrace and the messages we convey through public memorials of such individuals. Wayne's significant contributions to film and American culture are indisputable, and his movies have left a lasting impact on cinema. However, his personal beliefs, especially those aired in the 1971 Playboy interview, have sparked controversy, challenging us to balance an individual's artistic accomplishments with their personal views and actions. The journey of William Frawley through the entertainment industry is a tale of remarkable talent overshadowed by personal controversies. His role as Fred Mertz in I Love Lucy remains one of the most iconic performances in television history. Despite this, Williams' off-screen behavior often fell short of today's standards of acceptability. Early in his career, Williams' proficiency in vaudeville, particularly his knack for portraying the grumpy old man, convinced Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz to overlook his notorious difficulty as a collaborator and cast him in their revolutionary sitcom. Arnaz, recognizing Williams' potential, championed his inclusion, a decision that proved fruitful as Frawley's portrayal of Fred Mertz became a landmark in his career. During I Love Lucy, William was well known for battling alcoholism, yet he maintained a professional demeanor that kept the show's production smooth. His relationships with co-stars varied, showing respect towards Lucille Ball due to her authority, while his interactions with Vivian Vance, who played his on-screen wife, were often strained, leading to tension on set. More troubling were Williams' racially insensitive remarks and an instance where he physically assaulted actor Clifton Webb, behaviors that reflect the prejudiced norms of his time but would be completely unacceptable today. Hold on, there's more to come that you won't want to miss. Next up, Anthony Cumia. His dismissal from SiriusXM highlights the repercussions public figures can face when they use social media to express contentious opinions. Cumia's firing followed a series of tweets that were viewed as racially insensitive and not in line with SiriusXM's values. This incident wasn't Cumia's first brush with controversy. His career has been marked by several instances that tested the boundaries of acceptable discourse in broadcasting and entertainment. The delicate balance between free speech and maintaining respectful public discourse is a challenging one. Public figures like Cumia, who wield significant influence, must consider the implications of their words. The language Cumia used in his tweets, which included deeply offensive terms, sparked a broader debate on the limits of provocative speech and the responsibility that comes with public platforms. SiriusXM's quick response to terminate Cumia underscores a growing societal intolerance for speech that perpetuates stereotypes or incites hatred, reflecting a shift towards greater accountability for public figures. Cumia defended his tweets, denying any racist intent and questioning the fairness of his firing, much like Don Imus. Imus's derogatory reference to the Rutgers University women's basketball team sparked outrage and brought to the forefront persistent racism in modern discourse. Words like nappy, once common in racist lexicons, resurfaced the painful history of discrimination against African Americans. Language expert and Sukhanov labels such terms as antique racism, emphasizing their outdated and insensitive nature in today's context. The controversy demonstrates the evolving nature of derogatory language, with terms like ho also facing criticism despite their prevalence in popular culture. Following Imus's remarks, the swift reactions from CBS Radio and MSNBC, leading to his suspension, illustrate a societal rejection of such language. However, calls by leaders like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson for his termination suggest that mere apologies are inadequate for addressing deeply ingrained racial insensitivity. Harvard Law professor Randall Kennedy points out that understanding the context and intent behind such terms is essential. Imus's history of inappropriate comments suggests a pattern of behavior, not an isolated incident. This history, combined with the National Association of Black Journalists, recalling Imus's previous remarks about figures like journalist Gwen Ifill and sports columnist William Roden, indicates a deep-seated racial bias. The transformation of nappy, originally a Middle English term for the frayed edge of cloth, into a racial slur by the 1890s, shows the historical burden these terms carry. The backlash against the children's book Nappy Hair and the controversy surrounding teacher Ruth Sherman for reading it to her class in Brooklyn exemplify the complex dynamics of race, language, and self-esteem. Jesse Shido's comments on the conditional acceptability of derogatory terms within and outside specific communities underline the nuanced understanding needed when dealing with sensitive terminology. In March, Roseanne, the beloved sitcom, triumphantly returned to ABC after 2 decades off the air, securing massive ratings that delighted network executives. The show's revival, aimed at capturing a broader audience, appeared to align well with a broader cultural shift following Donald J. Trump's unexpected election victory. The president himself called Roseanne Barr to congratulate her on the impressive viewership numbers for the revival of her show. However, a fateful Tuesday in May turned the tide drastically. ABC canceled Roseanne just hours after Barr tweeted a racist comment about Valerie Jarrett, an African-American former senior advisor to President Obama. In the tweet, Barr likened Jarrett to a cross between the Muslim Brotherhood and a character from Planet of the Apes. Despite Barr's subsequent apology, the damage was irreversible, leading ABC's entertainment president, Channing Dungey, to denounce the tweet as abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values. The revived Roseanne had just wrapped up a successful first season and was scheduled for a 13-episode run in September. Yet the severity of the controversy made it impossible to overlook. Robert A. Iger, CEO of the Walt Disney Company, ABC's parent company, endorsed the cancellation, stating it was the appropriate course of action. This decision was particularly notable given the show's high ratings and an estimated $45 million in advertising revenue from its comeback season, with projections even higher for the upcoming episodes. The decision involved top executives at Disney and ABC, including Channing Dungey, who made history as the first Black entertainment president at a major broadcast network. Supported by Ben Sherwood and Bob Iger, the choice to cancel the show came after a decisive early Tuesday phone consultation with ABC executives and Barr's representatives. While Barr expressed regret, she seemed to not fully grasp the extensive repercussions of her actions. Valerie Jarrett responded during an MSNBC town hall on racism in America, urging that the incident be used as a learning moment, and revealed that Bob Iger had personally apologized to her before the cancellation announcement, citing a zero-tolerance policy for racism and bigotry. Following the cancellation, ABC acted swiftly, replacing the scheduled Roseanne rerun with an episode of The Middle, and removing all episodes of Roseanne from their website. Megyn Kelly, a media personality long scrutinized for making controversial and occasionally racist remarks, faced significant backlash for defending blackface on her show, which contributed to her possible exit from NBC. Critics argued that NBC should never have hired Kelly, given her history of racial controversies at Fox News. Her tenure included various offensive remarks, which she rarely acknowledged or apologized for, such as defending the new Black Panthers as a threat and dismissing offensive captions about Michelle Obama as humorous. Kelly's history of making racially charged statements includes asserting that both Jesus and Santa Claus were white, criticizing a Black teenager who was manhandled by police, and suggesting that Sandra Bland would have survived if she had complied with police. She also downplayed a report on racial bias within Ferguson's police department and frequently hosted Mark Fuhrman, known for his racist comments, to discuss race and policing. Kelly implied that the Black community harbored a thug mentality and accused Michelle Obama of fostering a victimization culture through her speeches on discrimination. Her comment that blackface was acceptable on Halloween, which she later apologized for, was met with widespread criticism, highlighting her pattern of problematic remarks. This incident underscores a systemic issue within media organizations that overlook such behaviors, which has been amplified by her portrayal as a feminist icon by some, despite her insensitivity to racial issues. Activist Rachel Cargle critiqued Kelly's apologies as insincere, suggesting they were motivated more by fear of losing her job than by genuine remorse. In a surprising turn, Don Cherry, a Canadian hockey commentator known for his outspoken style and colorful attire, was dismissed from Hockey Night in Canada after making racially charged comments about immigrants. During a broadcast, Cherry criticized immigrants for not wearing poppies to honor Canada's military heroes, using the phrase "you people" and citing their enjoyment of Canadian benefits without proper homage. Despite his insistence on the importance of the poppy tradition, citing his visits to military bases and trips to Afghanistan, the backlash was immediate. Sportsnet president Bart Yabsley confirmed Cherry's dismissal, emphasizing that sports should unite rather than divide. Cherry's longtime co-host, Ron MacLean, apologized for the incident, expressing regret over his role in the broadcast. Cherry's departure marks the end of an era for Coach's Corner, which he had hosted for 35 seasons, amidst continued criticism for his history of controversial remarks, including past derogatory comments about European players and disparaging the Carolina Hurricanes. Cherry maintained a significant following despite these controversies, highlighting the complex dynamics of public figures and their influence. Steve Simmons, a columnist for the Toronto Sun, was among those advocating for Don Cherry's dismissal, pointing out that although Cherry had always been a polarizing figure, he often retained public support. However, the NHL described Cherry's firing as a necessary response, stating that his remarks were at odds with the league's commitment to diversity and inclusion. Cherry's exit signifies the conclusion of a significant chapter for Coach's Corner, a segment that has been a fixture of Canadian hockey broadcasts for decades. We're only halfway through the video, and many more surprising names await. Now, before we proceed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insightful content. Continuing our exploration, next on the list is Taylor Selfridge, whose stint on MTV's Teen Mom OG ended abruptly after past racially insensitive social media posts resurfaced. These posts, which emerged during a nationwide movement against racism, prompted MTV to cut ties with Selfridge and cancel the planned special on her pregnancy. This incident highlights the entertainment industry's increasing focus on holding individuals accountable for past behaviors as part of a broader cultural reckoning. Selfridge's time on Teen Mom OG, which spanned from 2019 to 2020, saw her sharing the screen with boyfriend Corey Wharton and his ex, Cheyenne Floyd. It was Floyd who initially spotlighted Selfridge's problematic tweets on an episode of the show, igniting a controversy that ultimately led to Selfridge's exit. In her defense, Selfridge claimed the tweets were from a period when she was younger and did not fully grasp their harmful implications, believing them to be humorous rather than offensive. She admitted her error and expressed a willingness to learn from this experience. Following her dismissal, Selfridge retreated to her now private Instagram account, where she issued an apology and voiced her commitment to personal growth and providing a stable, healthy life for her family. She also framed her departure from Teen Mom OG as a personal decision, criticizing the reality TV industry for its inconsistent enforcement of rules and expressing dissatisfaction with the lifestyle it promotes. The canceled special, Teen Mom OG. At Home, Corey and Taylor's baby special, was intended to showcase Selfridge's pregnancy journey amid the COVID-19 pandemic using self-shot footage. Wharton had previously expressed enthusiasm about the special's premiere on his Instagram, teasing the personal highs and lows that would be featured. However, following the controversy, the special was shelved, and Selfridge's narrative became a cautionary tale about the enduring impact of past actions on public figures' careers. In the realm of social media, past actions can have enduring repercussions, a reality that Hartley Sawyer has experienced firsthand. Formerly a cast member of the CW's The Flash, Sawyer was dismissed from the series after old tweets containing misogynistic, racist, and homophobic remarks resurfaced. These tweets, which predated his tenure on The Flash, came to light amid a national reckoning on systemic racism following George Floyd's death. The decision to terminate Sawyer was jointly made by the CW, the show's producers, and executive producer Eric Wallace, who collectively emphasized their dedication to fostering a safe and inclusive environment. They stated unequivocally that derogatory remarks against any group based on race, ethnicity, national origin, gender, or sexual orientation were unacceptable. This incident is reflective of a broader trend in the entertainment industry, where public figures have faced significant repercussions for past comments. Similar to Sawyer's situation, ABC canceled Roseanne following Roseanne Barr's racially insensitive tweet. Kevin Hart stepped down from hosting the 2019 Oscars over past homophobic tweets, and Shane Gillis was let go from Saturday Night Live due to racial and homophobic slurs surfacing. Sawyer expressed remorse for his past behavior in an apology on Instagram, acknowledging that his attempts at humor were not only hurtful but also unacceptable, and he expressed shame for his actions. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, we turn to Paula Deen, who experienced a pivotal moment last year when a racial discrimination scandal threatened her culinary empire. Deen admitted to using racially insensitive language in the past, which led to the cancellation of her cooking show and the severance of ties with numerous sponsors. Her tearful appearance on the Today Show with Matt Lauer was an attempt to assert that she was not a racist, yet it inadvertently highlighted her misunderstanding of the gravity of her actions. The controversy extended beyond her use of a derogatory term. It also involved her revelation of once envisioning a Southern plantation-style wedding with African-American servers, a scenario laden with painful historical implications. Returning to the Today Show a year later, Deen appeared transformed, expressing disbelief at her previous self and suggesting that perhaps medical intervention would have been more appropriate than a public appearance during that trying period. Deen's difficulty in grasping the backlash was evident, as she admitted that it took time to understand the impact of words she had spoken 30 years earlier. In an effort to resurrect her brand, Deen has since launched a subscription-based television network showcasing both her old programs and new content, opened a new retail store, and teased a documentary about her life. This blend of self-promotion and public apologies has elicited mixed responses, reflecting the complex interplay between commercial pursuits and genuine contrition. Initially, when discussing the lessons learned from the scandal, Deen focused more on promoting a new book rather than issuing an apology, though she eventually expressed regret for the pain she caused, acknowledging the significance of the hurt she had inflicted. In the aftermath of George Floyd's death, many celebrities took to social media to express their solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, including Lea Michele, who tweeted her condolences and support. However, her expression of support quickly came under scrutiny when her former Glee co-star, Samantha Marie Ware, accused Michele of making her time on the set extremely challenging. Ware's accusations led to a cascade of similar allegations from other cast members and industry professionals, portraying Michele as difficult to work with potential undertones of racism. Ware's vivid recounting of her experiences prompted corroborations from other actors like Alex Newell and several background actors. Jane Godlock claimed Michele referred to background actors as cockroaches, and Naya Rivera hinted at Michele's unprofessionalism in her memoir. Heather Morris, another Glee alum, acknowledged Michele's difficult behavior but cautioned against labeling her as racist without understanding her beliefs fully. Keith Powell, former 30 Rock actor, supported Ware's claims, noting Michele's racist microaggressions. In response to the backlash, Michele apologized on Instagram, stating that while she did not recall the specific incidents Ware mentioned, she recognized that her past behavior had been harmful to others. She attributed this to her privilege, perspective, or possibly her immaturity. Ware responded skeptically to Michele's apology, questioning its sincerity and urging Michele to make a meaningful contribution to the GoFundMe for James Scurlock's family. Turning to Abby Lee Miller, the formidable dance coach from Dance Moms, she found herself in hot water when Adriana Smith, the mother of dancer Cameron Smith from Season 8, accused her of racist behavior. This accusation surfaced after Miller posted a blackout square on Instagram in support of Blackout Tuesday, initiated following Floyd's death. Smith openly criticized Miller's post as hypocritical, sharing her distressing experiences with the dance coach. According to Smith, Miller's conduct included using her daughter as a token for diversity, which led Smith to eventually remove her daughter from the show, emphasizing the importance of dignity and respect over exposure. Miller issued a public apology via Twitter, expressing regret and a commitment to better educate herself. However, Smith dismissed the apology as insincere and poorly timed, suggesting that a genuine apology would have been made directly and much sooner. Another parent, Camille Bridges, echoed Smith's sentiments, accusing Miller of cultural appropriation and neglecting the contributions of Black choreographers. Her daughter, Cameron Bridges, who appeared on seasons 4 and 7, reportedly faced similar discriminatory treatment. These incidents highlight ongoing issues of racism within the entertainment industry, sparking important discussions on accountability and the need for genuine understanding and change. In 2012, during the initial season of House of Cards, Kevin Spacey faced allegations of racism, particularly from Earl Blue, the head of VIP Protective Services, who was in charge of security on the set. At 51, Blue led a team responsible for maintaining the safety and security of the production, employed by Night Takes King Productions. The allegations arose when Spacey reportedly used racial slurs and deliberately ignored the Black members of the security team, a behavior that profoundly affected those subjected to it. The specific incident that catalyzed these accusations involved Spacey allegedly stating he did not want Black employees near his trailer, a comment reflecting deep-seated prejudices. Despite the professionalism and dedication shown by Blue's team, their contract, valued at over $1 million, was not renewed under mysterious circumstances, leading to a significant financial loss and impacting the 40 guards employed by Blue's firm. This decision, which profoundly affected Blue and his staff's livelihoods, was further supported by similar experiences recounted by Eric Lai, another employee of VIP Protective Services, who also noted Spacey's dismissive behavior. The situation suggests a pattern of discriminatory behavior that raises severe concerns. Blue, a father of 3, found himself reconsidering his career and the values of the industry after the contract's termination. It took him 4 years to publicly address the issue, driven by the realization that the matter transcended any confidentiality agreements. Responses from those associated with House of Cards have been mixed. While some deny witnessing any racist behavior from Spacey, others have noted that he was challenging to work with. The show's producer declined to comment on the allegations directly but criticized the services provided by VIP Protective Services as unsatisfactory. Contrarily, a source implied that security breaches during the show's first season were the reason for changing security contractors, an assertion Blue vehemently denies, defending the integrity and quality of his company's work. The unresolved nature of the contract termination and the absence of a clear rationale for the decision add layers of complexity and frustration for Blue and his team. This controversy invites further discussion on systemic issues within the entertainment industry, highlighting the need for accountability and change. Now, don't forget to subscribe for more updates and share your thoughts on this topic in the comments below.